Okay, today we're going to be replacing the turn signal, headlight, dimmer switch on a 2011 Subaru Legacy. Some common tools that you'll need at the start be a 10mm socket or wrench to remove the negative battery post to make it safer to work on, a T30 Torx bit set to remove the airbag assembly from the steering wheel, assorted screwdrivers to open the housing around the steering column. So the first thing we're going to do, open the door, make sure your seat is all the way back, because as soon as you disconnect the battery, your electrical seats will not function. Open the hood. And there we go. The vehicle is now safe to work on. We will lower the hood just to make it easier to now I'll get out my trouble lights and we'll start the disassemble. Okay. Need to have the key in the ignition. We will turn the key to the run position. Remember, no battery, so no power. To start to remove the shroud surrounding the steering column, that piece there, then you can see the seam and the top piece to get this unit out. With the steering wheel unlocked, turn it. There's a screw right there. And then turn the wheel the other direction. There's a second screw right there. And then the rest of the housing just snaps apart. Now to move everything around for better access, push the steering column down after you unlock it, telescope it to you, temporarily lock it back in place, and we will remove the screws. Okay, got that folded up out of the way. Now you can get into the steering column area. Now on the steering wheel, there are Torx bits, one there and one on the other side of the steering wheel. They hold the airbag assembly onto the steering wheel. So that's what we will use the T30 Torx bit for. Okay, now that we got the two bolts out that hold the airbag restraint system in place, you just grab hold of it and pull it back out of the way, and we'll proceed to the next step of removing the steering wheel. Okay, I've went and turned the steering wheel upside down to get the airbag to stay out of the way. 17mm socket for the steering wheel nut, and then I have a homemade wheel puller, and we'll get this steering wheel off. Okay, we got the steering wheel loose. There's a loud pop when it came free. Leave the nut in place so as it comes off it doesn't fall all the way off. Okay, we got the steering wheel assembly off. The electrical unit for the horn, the airbag system. As you can see here, there's 3 plugs. You unplug those, that whole unit comes off, that all the controls and everything for the radio, all the steering wheel controls plug into that. One thing I forgot to mention, unplug the headlight dimmer blinker switch and unplug the controls for the wipers, and there's a Phillips screw right there, kind of clamps this all to the steering column. Then we'll take that off. I'll probably need 2 hands for this. Oh, came off easier than I thought. Then you end up with something that looks like this. There are notches and grooves, so when you put the new one back in, you don't have to worry about not having it perfectly aligned. And if you're having issues with your steering column, this would be part of a video of how to get down this far. Hopefully I don't have to do that, but I will make more videos as I work on more parts of the car. Check out my other video, 2006 Chevy Trailblazer. I smoked a deer a while back, and I go through the process of replacing the radiator, air conditioning condenser, all the plastic, headlight assembly, the complete grill, and check that out. It's a pretty good video. Now we'll get back to this, and I'll show you how to swap out the parts on this and get the new one back in. Okay, I got the 2 parts here. You'll notice a slight difference between them. The new one has fog light control on it. When I ordered the part, it asked if it had fog lights or not, and I was like, yes, the car has fog lights. I didn't realize that it meant on the headlight blinker dimmer switch. So now the car is going to have 2 fog light controls. I don't know if this one up here will work. The one next to the parking hill assist system on the left side of the steering wheel will still work. All the wiring's the same, but I will show you how to take this out of the housing. It's pretty straightforward. Push this clip in. It slides right out. There we have our old unit. Take our new one. There's grooves and some rails right there, the red lights on it. Just line them up and snap them together. Now the new unit can go back on. We'll plug it in, reassemble everything, and test the headlights. Okay, here it is all put back together. The issue we were having with the car was the high beams would flicker off and on and then shut off. The switch was starting to go bad. So we're replacing the switch, and that should be it. We'll reassemble and test it out. Okay, like I mentioned before, there are grooves inside here that match up with little notches on either side. Take the new part, push it on, and then we'll tighten this screw down up here, Phillips, and we'll plug everything back in before we forget. We'll tighten that down real quick. Nice and snug, it's not going to come off. Now before I pulled the steering wheel off, I did mark a little blue dot here and one on the steering wheel itself to indicate where alignment was. Since we're not doing anything with the steering, we should get it lined up. And then when you're driving down the road, the steering wheel won't be off center. Okay, I got the steering wheel back in place. That electrical unit just kind of snaps into place behind the steering column. I still have to hook all the wires back up to it. And I don't know how well you can see it. There's that little blue dot right there in the red light. Lines up with the blue dot on the steering column. So we'll put the nut on and tighten her down. Okay, now that we have everything wired back up, we've got white plug here, yellow plug here, smaller white plug goes back here. Not sure if you can see that very well. That should be all the wiring. Everything should be back together. Okay, we will turn the key off. And let's go reconnect the battery. Okay, all the wires are plugged back in. So we will grab the 10mm. Reconnect the battery. Always make sure your battery connections are clean so you get a good contact. Close the hood. Everything comes on. Turn the headlights on. some checks. This is a non-functioning switch, but the one over here does work for the fog lights. Alright, let's back her out and start her up. Okay, we got the battery reconnected. Turn the ignition on. Pull back for flash to pass. I don't know if I can get everything in here at once. There you go. Turn the headlights on. Okay, everything seems to be working. We'll start her up and see how she acts. It might be a little hard to see, but everything seems to be working. So that concludes the headlight dimmer blinker switch replacement 2011 Subaru Legacy. Now I'm just going to take it for a test drive, make sure the steering wheel is in fact straight. Get my seatbelt on. Back out of the driveway. And we're going straight down the road. And steering wheel seems to be straight. I always like to do a thorough test drive. It might be off one little tooth, so we will go back and straighten that out. Alright, thanks for watching.